Now we're going to make a stem and leaf plot. We have the same data we had before. These are max temperatures from August 2019. And to make a stem and leaf plot, you really need your data to be sorted, and it helps to go from smallest to largest because that's how a stem and leaf plot is going to work. This is a very simple kind of plot to make if you understand the idea. The idea is we're going to take our numbers and we're going to split them into a stem and a leaf. For example, 71 has a stem of 7 and a leaf of 1. We'll list the stems in a column, and we're not going to list each stem more than once. We have a lot of numbers in the 70s, so we're just going to write the number 7 once, and then we'll write the leaves after that. And so if you do that, it looks like this. So to read this, notice where our data is here. This 71 is represented as 71. The 72 is represented as 72. 73 shows up twice, so we have 73, 73. 77 shows up 4 times, so we have 77, 77, 77, 77, like that. And we do the same thing for the numbers in the 80s. 80 appears twice, so we have 181, 282s, 283s, 284s, and so on into the 90s. And this kind of shows you the shape of the distribution again. Most of the days were in the 80s, a lot of the days were in the 70s. There were also a few days in the 90s. So the other thing we can do to really show this even more granularly, this one sort of goes by 10s, 70s, 80s, 90s, we can go by 5s. And to go by 5s, you would make a split stem and leaf plot. And that looks like this. And you're really just going by 5s here. Anything from 70 to 74 goes in the first stem for 7. The second stem for 7 is anything 75 to 79. So if you just compare these two, you just kind of took this 7, you split that stem into another 7, and you took everything 5 through 9 and put that on this second line here. And do the same thing with the 70s, or the 80s and the 90s. This is 80 through 84, 85 to 89, 90 to 94, and 95 to 99. And this shows you the distribution even more clearly in that the low 70s were pretty uncommon, the high 90s were uncommon, anything in the low 80s was the most common. So stem and leaf plots are a great way to just quickly visualize your data. Again, when you don't have too much data to look at, 31 days fits here pretty nicely. We can really see the distribution of the days. The only caution I will give you other than that is a lot of times students want to put commas between the numbers because it seems like you should, but that's not how this one works. We really just put 5, 6, 7, 7, 7, 7, 9, and we trust that when we read it, we look at that. The other thing to note is we want to make sure we show how many are in each one. So you kind of try to make each number take up the same amount of width. Like the 1, the 5, the 0, those all stack. So 4 numbers here should line up with the first 4 numbers here, first 4 numbers here, and so on. If you had a bunch of 1s, it might be tempting to put them very close to each other, but you really need to show how many there are there. That's about it, and I hope you've enjoyed it.